Today, Oregon State takes on Oregon in Eugene, Oregon. It's the Civil War. Let's get it started next. Pac-10 Hoops today brought to you by KFC. It's the Civil War. It's Oregon and Oregon State today at Matthew Knight Arena here in Eugene, Oregon. And the crowd already in fine form, as are we. Along with Don McLean, Kevin Calabro on hand. Greetings, everybody. The Civil War 335th meeting between these two fine universities. Right now, Don, Oregon's on a roll. They have won 3 of their last 4 in conference.
But it's a Civil War. Throw the records out. You can see behind us it's going to be a big-time environment, and usually in these environments, your big guns step up. And for Oregon all year, their big gun has been Jovan Catron. Leads them in scoring and rebounding, has added a perimeter game this year, which makes him a matchup nightmare. And Oregon is going to need another big performance from Jovan Catron to knock off the Beavers here this afternoon.
Oregon already this year has won, of course, up in Corvallis, but it's there in Corvallis that Oregon State has beaten both Arizona and Washington this year. They've been up and down. They've lost 6 of their last 7. If they can play good defense on the road, they've got a chance.
They get steals, and Jared Cunningham leads the Pac-10 in steals. With his athleticism, he's able to get out passing lanes. He leads this defensive Oregon State, and their defense has been pretty good. It's going to be at the offensive end for Oregon State here this afternoon. Can Jared Cunningham lead them offensively, score enough points to come in here and knock off the Ducks?
Oh, he is a highlight-type player. We've got a couple of them here at Matthew Knight Arena as the Ducks get set to take on the Oregon State Beavers. Pac-10 Hoops today brought to you by KFC. College Hoops is presented by KFC Hot Wings. Tastes so good. Mic check 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, check 1, 2, 1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Pac-10 College Hoops is presented by KFC Hot Wings. Taste so good they don't need sauce. And brought to you in part by Just for Men Hair Color. Live forward. And by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. The perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter. Pac-10 Hoops today brought to you by KFC. We broadcast from the Matthew Knight Arena in Eugene, Oregon. An absolutely beautiful arena. One of the best in the country. And the site of the 335th meeting between these two schools in basketball, Oregon State and Oregon. It is the Civil War. Take a look at the Oregon lineup. The Ducks stand 3-12 on the year, 6-7 in conference, featuring Jovan Catron up front, E.J. Singler, Tyrone Narron, the guards Garrett Sim and Jonathan Lloyd. The new coach of the Oregon Ducks, Nate Altman, in his first year here, 22nd year in coaching, over 400 coaching victories. Previously 16 years in Creighton with over 300 victories there in Omaha, Nebraska. Oregon State Beavers lineup brought to you by KFC, featuring Omari Johnson, the senior anchors the middle, Devon Collier and Angus Brandt, Jared Cunningham and Ahmad Starks, the youngsters at guards, for Craig Robinson now in his third year at the helm of the Oregon State men's basketball program. The Beavers finished conference play with an 8-10 record last year, which tied for their most Pac-10 victory since 92-93. Now Don McClain has our Chrysler keys to the game.
Here's the thing, emotional rivalry game. Can Oregon State shoot a high percentage against that Oregon 2-3 zone? And can Oregon execute and not turn it over against the mixing up of defenses of Oregon State? But really the biggest key is who in an emotional game can settle down and execute.
Back on the 22nd of January, Oregon jumped right out to a 17-point lead with 3 and change left in the first half. Oregon State fought back in that game before Oregon eventually won in a very low-scoring game. Ahmad Starks will start things for the Beavers at the point guard.
Oregon State only a 29% three-point shooting team, so they can't settle here this afternoon and just shoot jumpers. They got to get the ball inside, have some balance offensively.
Ducks open up in a zone, and Omari Johnson with a 3 with 3 on the shot clock. Jonathan Lloyd will wheel it into front court to Sim, and this is Jovan Catron.
See the athleticism of Cunningham. He's so good at anticipating passing lanes. Gets a turnover there for his team.
Backcourt violation. Oregon State forced 26 UCLA turnovers in its last game. You see Cunningham leading the Pac-10 in steals, 3 a game.
Been in the top 5 all year nationally in steals.
Cunningham will raise. Johnson the rebound. Johnson the second tip up. But an offensive foul, loose ball foul on Oregon State, gives it back to the Ducks.
That's what they're going to have to do, and Omari Johnson's got to finish those plays inside, but they're going to have to attack the offensive board. Second leading offensive rebounding team in the league, so if you do shoot perimeter jumpers, Oregon State's got to get in there and try and get some second chances.
You can see Lloyd thread his way through traffic. This game features a couple of mighty mites. Lloyd, 5'8" freshman from Las Vegas, Nevada, and Ahmad Starks, 5'8" for Oregon State, the freshman from Whitney High School in Chicago.
Both of those guys are going to be really good next year. Year under their belt, Lloyd and Starks.
Now we'll see both clubs play a variety of zones today, won't we?
Yeah, Oregon State especially. They'll play a 1-3-1, a 2-2-1, and a 2-3. They mix it up quite a bit.
Singler, the best three-point shooter for Oregon, missing this one. And Oregon State will take possession.
Oregon will pick up a little three-quarter court pressure and then drop back into that zone. Really not looking for steals. Just trying to make you use some clock and disrupt you a little bit, but they'll drop back into that zone and make you shoot over the top.
See Cunningham explode to the rim, tried to slide step through 2 defenders. Catron there to snuff it, grab it, send it up to Lloyd, and Sim trying to finish with a 3.
Cunningham's been pretty good all year at decision making, but that last one, not a great one, went into 4 people.
Stark let that one off glass, recovered by Sim the other way, going lefty all the way. Great recovery by Brandt to get a piece and block the shot.
Let's take a look at Cunningham. Superior athleticism, the ability to get by people. But look at the decision here, and good job by Oregon to converge on him. And that's going to be awfully difficult to finish that play, no matter how athletic you are. So better decision making from Cunningham, but nice job by Oregon to collapse on him.
Cunningham has not been shooting the ball well over the last 5 games. Brandt stumbles into the lane before getting rid of it, and Oregon State will reset.
It's a fine line, Kevin. When you're the main guy on a team, they need your production, but you can't force it. I think Cunningham's been pretty good at that all year.
He's 11 of his last 42 from the field. Trying to get it going here with a baseline jump shot.
A better decision there. He looked like he was going to put it down. Instead, brought it back. Shoots the 15-footer. Nice shot.
Ducks do a nice job to rotate the ball down into that trap along the far sideline.
The Beavers, number 34,
Here's Cunningham instead of putting it down. Look right here. Look, going to put it down. Little jab step, brings it back and knocks down the jumper. That's the part of his game this year that is much improved, is the ability to knock down jump shots.
Where do the Ducks want to attack this zone as he comes off the screen there?
Gets any zone, ball middle of the floor. Get it to that foul line area and make decisions from there.
Rapid movement by the Ducks, 6 to shoot. Catron's so good with that drop step, he comes a lot of ground.
That's what they want to do. They want to get it into Catron and let him go to work. Forget the free throw line. Different type zones. Oregon packed in, wants you to shoot over the top. Oregon State extends, trying to get steals.
Wild 3 by Ahmad Starks. Good hustle play by Collier to keep it alive. Singler digs it out. Here's Jovan. Blocked by Lathan Wallace and a foul. Catron will shoot 2.
Watch Catron here getting to his spot on the floor, and Oregon State's got to be aware of this. Catron gives it up and then slashes right to that box, and he has been a beast down there all year. The opposition has had trouble guarding him on the block. You put somebody that's big enough to guard him down there and body him up, he takes him out on the perimeter and knocks down perimeter shots. Catron in his 5th year has really made a jump offensively, and a big reason why Oregon's gotten those 6 Pac-10 conference wins is their ability to go to him to get buckets.
2 of them against the Washington schools. They mean Washington State and Washington here at Matthew Knight. Catron 17 and 9 rebounds against the Cougars and 20 and 9 against the Huskies, and he was named Conference Player of the Week.
And you like to see that guy like Catron. Sat out all last year. He understands that this is his last year of college basketball. Had a great offseason, new coach, new system. Some guys might transfer. He stayed and is having a terrific final year here in Eugene.
Oregon has a deep bench as well, deep and experienced bench as J.R. Strowbridge comes onto the floor along with Malcolm Armstead. Nicholas Fern, the freshman from Seattle, plays one part of that zone defense. And Teandre Williams has stepped in as well, the junior from Atlanta.
Keep an eye on Lathan Wallace for Oregon State. Had a nice game in Corvallis against Oregon last time, but he's the one guy that can really get it going from behind that 3-point line.
Wallace, great pass to get it back in play. And an easy lay-in by DeMar Collier.
Well, nice job by Wallace to penetrate the defense and then dump it off to Collier.
J.R. Strowbridge, who's had stints at Jacksonville State and Nebraska, where he actually started. Here's Williams outside for pop. The rebound recovered by Joe Burton.
A lot of jumpers for Oregon here early.
Williams had it blocked, came down with it, feeds to Wallace, who had 15 in the last meeting between the clubs. Nifty handoff to Burton, who's fouled, and a timeout. 15-18 remaining, just underway from Eugene in the Civil War, presented by KFC.
Would you please check in and guest services immediately? Direct your attention to the court. Welcome back. Recent Oregon graduate broke his own world record for heptathlon last month. 6,568 at the Tallinn International Indoor Combined Meets. 66 seconds, 60 meters, 25.96 in the long jump, 6.7 the high jump, 17.075 pole vault, personal best 27.5 in the shot put. The Big Oregon Navy all-time world heptathlon record for the 60-meter hurdle, 7.6. Here he is, one of our favorite Ducks, Ashton Eaton.
Underway here in Eugene, and Oregon State leading Oregon 4-2. Take a look at our Bank of the West flashback. We go back to January the 22nd in Corvallis. Garrett Sim, right here in the state of Oregon, got hot early. Oregon jumped out to a 17-point lead with 3:34 left before Oregon State could scramble back into this. But at the end, it was Sim and it was Singler, and it was excellent shooting. 50% shooting for Oregon that earned Dana Altman his first Civil War victory.
And the key was they didn't turn it over a ton, but you're right, Kevin. The perimeter shooting, Singler and Sim had big performances for Oregon, and they were able to get the 4-point victory. But Oregon State wants to return the favor here. It's been a good start for them defensively and low scoring in the first part of this game. I really believe whichever team can execute against the other team's zone is going to be the team that wins.
These are the two worst shooting teams in the Pac-10 so far. Oregon State 2 for 7, Oregon 1 of 5.
Big reason why Oregon State has scored the last couple trips, though, is penetration by Lathan Wallace, able to get in the teeth of that zone and not settle for perimeter jumpers. And if you know that you're not a very good perimeter shooting team, you can't just stand out there against that Pac-10 2-3 and let them fly.
Joe Burton, the big man from Soboba, California, double free throws. Oregon with Malcolm Armstead, Andre Williams, E.J. Singler, Tyrone Merritt in the middle of that zone, and J.R. Strowbridge looking out on top. This is Armstead.
He played well last week in L.A., averaging 12 points for those two games, and comes right off the bench and gets it going again.
Lathan Wallace, who had 15 in the last meeting between the two teams, rotates. They go deep to Collier. Help defense applied by Narrett. Recovered by Burton. Missed Collier. He's really digging in there amid 3 defenders and a held ball. And it will go back to the Oregon Ducks.
You like the aggressiveness of Collier going after it. Didn't get the first one. Stayed with it. Gets the miss from Burton. But Oregon ties him up. You like the effort out of Collier. And you see him coming on as the season's gone on for Oregon State. Big strides. Well, Devon Collier.
Four of their starters down, freshman and sophomore. Collier, of course, the freshman. Lamont Starks, the point guard, of freshman. Cunningham and Brandt are both sophomores. Here's Armstead, who is a senior this year with Strowbridge. Merritt coming over from Woonsocket, Rhode Island, played for Monroe College in the Bronx, New York. Here's Armstead, 6 to shoot.
Look out, Armstead, right off the bench, knocks down his first 2 threes. Oregon State's got to find him.
Wallace triggers long range.
Collier again.
Long and athletic, and anticipates the ball extremely well. He reads that ball well when it's in the air.
Long arms. Really, it's his motor. He stays with it. And a lot of times for young players, freshman guys, it takes them a while to figure it out. I think about halfway through the season, Devon Collier figured out that practice translates to the game. Started practicing harder, and that's translated to more production from him in the games.
Number 22, Calvin Haynes.
Coming into the lineup is Calvin Haynes, the senior. Out of Los Angeles, Taft High School, a long-time starter in this program, coming off the bench this year, averaging 10 a game.
A senior like Wallace that can get it going from behind the three-point line. Hasn't had a great senior year, but he is capable. And against that zone, Oregon's got to know where he is.
Armstead has hit the last 2, dribble handoff. Cunningham jabbed at it and recovered by Oregon. No reset of the shot clock. Good ball movement quickly to Williams, an open look at 3.
Armstead has really come off the bench and affected this game. Knocked down a couple jumpers. That time a nice pass to DeAndre Williams.
Oregon out on top, 10-8. Joe Burton swings it to Wallace. Oregon State comes in 1-9 in Pac-10 play. They've lost 6 of their last 7. Cunningham with a baseline jump shot. Collier inside. Got a piece of Armstead and a foul on Collier.
Take a look at this. Coaches don't like the one-arm passes, one-hand passes, but that time it was effective to get it to DeAndre Williams quickly enough for him to let that 3 go.
Second foul down on that young man Collier. Goes back to the bench, and Amari Johnson will step back in for Oregon State.
It's a big blow for Oregon State. 13:05 still in this first half.
Okay, 24.
And he's been the one player that's been on the offensive board and keeping balls alive for Oregon State.
Amari Johnson back in for the Beavers.
There's the 1-3-1 that Oregon State played almost exclusively the last couple of years. Oregon screens it.
Oh boy, Oregon is red hot. DeAndre Williams another deep shot, this from the far side. He's hit the last 2.
How about Armstead and DeAndre Williams, and that's how you come off the bench and get your team going.
Oregon checks in at 13-12 on the year, 6-7 in conference, 3-3 at home, but 3-1 here at the brand new arena. Joe Burton to the end line. Beautiful jump shot.
Good poise by Burton, too. Not getting the offensive foul, takes one dribble, little floater for the 2.
There's the long arms of Cunningham sneaking out into a passing lane in front of his own bench, but couldn't control it out of bounds.
He is so athletic, Kevin. Getting the balls. He's got good instincts, but the long arms and the athleticism allow him to get to passing lanes that most guys can't get to.
Greg Robinson thought that ball was in play. Oregon will take it nonetheless.
Greg Robinson laid the hammer back down again this week. 5:30 a.m. practices for Oregon State to try and get off this losing streak, but the players bought in, had a great week of practice.
Oregon has hit their last 5 in a row after starting off 1 of 5. Red hot shooting for the Ducks.
I think they found a place on those baselines that are open, and they're knocking them down.
.38 left in the first half. Oregon 16, Oregon State 10. A huge upset in women's collegiate basketball. We've got that for you next.
$50 gift certificate at a lucky seat located in section 101. If you're in row S, you get the $10 gift certificate. Seat number 2, $50 from Dick's Sporting Goods. Shop Dick's Sporting Goods for the finest quality products, competitive prices, backed by the best service anywhere. Every season starts at Dick's. And the Oregon Ducks want to thank and send a warm welcome to today's youth group, the Kennedy Conservation Corps. They're in section 207, thanks to Jerry's Home Improvement Center, sponsoring men's basketball youth ticket program.
Well, it's lonely at the top. Ask the Baylor Bears. #1 women's team loses today. Baylor lost at Texas Tech 56-45. First loss since November 16 at UConn. And tomorrow, a big Pac-10 basketball game featuring Tara Vanderveer against Nikki Caldwell at Stanford and UCLA. Vanderveer coming off the nomination to the Hall of Fame. Pac-10 women's hoops tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. #3 Stanford taking on #9 UCLA.
It's that time of year, Kevin. You come down the home stretch, people start knocking other people off as we inch towards the conference tournament in men's and women's basketball. You're going to see even more of this.
$11 to shoot now for the Beavers, and it's Calvin Haynes trying to set the floor.
When they've gone inside, good things have happened. When they've settled for jumpers, Oregon's gotten stops.
Shot clock violation as Oregon State simply lost track of time. Third turnover on Craig Robinson's group.
The guy at the top, Calvin Haynes, has got to take leadership on that and let everyone know what the clock is, have a little more sense of urgency.
Oregon on a 14-4 run in the last 3 minutes. 4 of the 5 field goals they have hit have been three-point shots. Strowbridge tied up and a foul.
Well, their bench, Kevin, has been really good. Of their 16 points, 14 have come from Armstead, Williams, and Strowbridge. So the bench coming in and doing their job for Oregon.
Fallon Cunningham is first, and the 4th team foul. E.J. Singler with it, slashing into the lane. They let him get in deep, and he rolls in a runner.
Against zones, you got to get the ball in the middle of the floor or penetrate, not settle for jump shots. Oregon has penetrated and kicked out to those baselines. They've done a nice job.
Cunningham pinched along the near edge here. Singler forces Cunningham out of bounds with it.
This is Singler's first bucket of the game. Catron and him, their 2 leading scorers, really haven't gotten it going. But again, it's been the bench of Oregon that's come in and gotten them this 8-point lead.
Already an upset in the Pac-10 today. Take a look as Arizona State, badly needing a win, at home defeats Washington State 71-69. Still later to come, Washington taking on Arizona down in Arizona, Tucson. #12 ranking Arizona right now at the top of the heap. And UCLA, a red-hot club, they've won 6 in a row, taking on Cal today. Look at the way they are starting to bunch now in the Pac-10.
And here's the thing, it was a much-needed win for Arizona State, but a huge loss for Washington State. They were still entertaining hopes of making it into the NCAA tournament, and I think with that loss today, they may have taken themselves out of the running.
7-8 are the Cougars now in Pac-10 play. Nice back cut. Strowbridge lays it up. That's a goal. 10 count the basket. Armstead throws a bullet bounce pass to J.R. Strowbridge.
Great play call out of a timeout by Dana Altman. Little back door to beat the overplay of Lathan Wallace. And obviously the goaltending, good design by Coach Altman to get a hoop.
Altman, 16 years at Creighton in the very tough Missouri Valley Conference, where he was named Coach of the Year multiple times. Here's Burton with it. Lathan Wallace for 3.
Well, with a 10-point deficit, Oregon State, again, can't just rely on the perimeter jump shot. They got to go inside and get second chance opportunities or get the ball inside to one of their bigs.
Roberto Nelson trying to get the Beavers going on the inbounds. Oregon State is 3 of 13 from the field. Burton spins right into a double team. Ripped away by Armstead. Strowbridge has a step, trying to pack it. Goaltending the call, man in the cylinder.
Strowbridge was going to miss that. Watch this. Lathan Wallace doesn't give up on the play. And he hit the rim on the way, and that's why it was called a goaltend. Good call by the official.
Burton forces a pass in the front court.
Not a good
by Catron.
Not a good decision.
Catron for 3. He's hit a couple this year. 9:57 to go in the first half, and it's all Ducks right now at home.
Haynes has got to look to shoot.
McShane with a rebound, but he brought it down to the level of defenders. They rip it away and out of bounds. Last touch by McShane. Oregon ball.
You get the sense that Oregon State is hurting Oregon on the glass, but they're not converting any of them. They're getting second chance at 5 offensive rebounds, but no stickbacks for points.
The ball goes up the shoot top of Nelson out of bounds. And Oregon will take it.
We've talked about Oregon State's ability all year to get down and come back. They got down against Oregon in the first one and came back, wasn't enough. But I don't think in this building you want to get down too big to an improving Oregon team.
And Ketron really hasn't gotten it going yet because they've been so good from the perimeter, but you can see the work that he has put in. Back from a back injury that sidelined him last year for all but 4 games. He got a medical red shirt last year. Ketron just worked so hard.
He's just one of those guys that likes the contact. He's physical. He bumps people off their spots, and if he misses, he stays with it, goes back and gets it. And he's been doing that all year. But the difference is his ability to step out now. And I think that's made him a bit of a nightmare for the opposition because you got to have somebody big and strong enough to guard him on the box, but quick enough to guard him out on the perimeter.
22 to 4 run in 6 minutes.
Oregon State needs a hoop. That was our big key to the game, was they got to make shots, and right now they're not making shots.
Nelson dribbles right into a trap, and Sim takes it, lays it in, and is fouled.
Let's take another look at this play. Nelson, don't pick up your dribble against the pressure. You got to dribble through that or kick it ahead with the pass. And Sim knocks it away, gets the and-one opportunity here.
Oregon trying to take the suspense out of this game early.
Who's going to step up for Oregon State in this situation? You're down 17 on the road. You need a bucket. Who's it going to be?
Beavers trying to negotiate the zone. Kevin McShane with it. Grant the screen high. Ahmad Starks trying to get it going. Cunningham knifes in. 9 to shoot. Roberto Nelson for 3.
Good defense by Oregon. Limiting penetration and then getting out to shooters.
Strowbridge is wide open. Ketron grabs it away from 2 defenders.
Just wants it more.
Swings it out to Sim for a look. Cunningham is out of bounds when he received the ball, and another Oregon State turnover. That is their 9th of the game.
It's been the story all year for Oregon State. A young team figuring out how to convert. Their defense has been pretty good, but conversion on the offensive end, they've only scored 4 points in the last 8 minutes. That's a big drought.
This is a team that has put it together this year on different occasions, beating Arizona and Washington in Corvallis. Cunningham with a rebound, and Nelson up the floor. That's a charge on Nelson, and again, Oregon will take it back.
A lot of it's ball handling, but a lot of it's decision making. And not a good decision that time. Pull that back, you have numbers, pass it, do something other than run the defender over.
10 turns and only 3 field goals made.
That's staggering. 3 field goals, 10 turnovers.
Cunningham with a rebound on a Ketron misfire. Trying to beat the zone down the floor. Starks gets an open look. Starks trying to jab it away from Armstead. Armstead peels away. Starks from behind. Armstead maintains control. Sends it up over Brown. Missed it. Calvin Haynes spot Starks for the rim. Blocked by Singler, and the follow by Cunningham, and a foul called on the Ducks.
If Oregon State can get out in transition, they have a chance, but on the previous play, Garrett Sim poking it away, gets himself a deuce in the and one with the foul.
From section 102, referee 102 better get loud, so see if you can make all 5 3-point shots. Every shot he makes tries this goal up. Okay, Tyler, you ready? 30 seconds. Shoot.
You know what I'm saying? Like right. No, roll it forward. Maybe like there. Yeah, right with the start. And then after that, I mean,
Five seconds. Now, good try. He made 2. It's the T-shirt, the Bloomin' Onion card, but we're getting a good stand. Section 102, everybody still gets the Bloomin' Onion card from Outback. Thanks to Outback Steakhouse for the 3-point thriller.
Welcome back to the Civil War here in Eugene, where the Ducks lead at home 27-12. Take a look now at our Lexus playbook. There's a whole lot to think about here as you attack a zone.
Well, let's take a look at Oregon State's 1-3-1 zone. Has been so effective in the past of this guy at the top. This time it's Omari Johnson affecting the dribbler. What Oregon's doing is setting a pick to free the ball handler from Omari Johnson, then frees it another pick to freeze him again. So you're essentially taking the 2 middle people out of this zone, and it's been terrific for Oregon here early, and then the delivery to the baseline. So very good zone offense against an effective 1-3-1 zone that Oregon State's used for the last couple of years.
Oregon at one point had hit 7 straight shots against that zone, and they have been red hot. 47% the Ducks at home, 10-21. They've actually been shooting the ball pretty well here at Matthew Knight Arena since moving over from Matt Court.
Well, after mentioning that drought of 4 points in 8 minutes, they've had a couple trips here where they scored, and now the free throw by Cunningham. But why? They got out in transition. They got stops and got out in transition. I don't think Oregon State is a good enough perimeter shooting team to be highly effective against that Oregon zone. So I think they're going to have to create some stops and turnovers and get out in transition.
Cunningham hits a pair. Again, Oregon with a long pass up the floor with Narrett in the corner. Narrett, Strowbridge, Katron, Sim, and Armstead, the junior, on the floor right now. 16 to shoot. 7:05 left in the first half. Katron down low. Good post defense, but Cunningham can't hang on to the rebound.
Katron is so good at sneaking in the middle of that defense and establishing position. Just didn't finish at that time.
Chris Brown, the freshman from Houston, Texas, in the middle of that zone now for Oregon State, 6'11".
The length to deal with Katron.
Strowbridge for 3 straight away. The 3 has been falling. They've been prolific. The Ducks have 5 of 10 as a team from 3. And Strowbridge, 2 of 3 out there.
You got, who are you going to get to? You got Sim, Strowbridge, and Armstead camped out behind the 3-point line. You can't account for all of them. That time it was Strowbridge with the knockdown.
Baines off the high screen, drops in a mid-range jumper.
He's got to look to be more aggressive. He has the ability to score in bunches. Oregon has done a terrific job of executing against the changing defenses of Oregon State here in the first half.
Sim, a turnaround pop with touch.
Nice flash to the free throw line area. It was open. Quick catch and shoot.
avoid Armstead, count the basket and the foul. He goes to the line.
Let's take a look at that last play. And Singler's coming to the top. He's coming to the top, or Sim, excuse me. He starts there, watch him flash right to the middle. I mean, it is wide open. Look at that whole area. And that's what you do. I talked about the foul line area early. Perfect execution by Oregon that time.
Cunningham gets to the line a fair amount, just over 6 free throw attempts per ball game. And of course, when he gets there, he's a good free throw shooter at 78%. He had a string of 34 consecutive free throws and hit 15 in one game without a miss.
You and I were at the game that he missed. Vince Fritz, who he tied.
Vince Fritz, and it had stood since what, the late 60s?
Yep.
Here's Sim off a screen, drifting into the corner, 17 to shoot. And the big fella, who I think's got a lot of upside, Chris Brown, just over the top of the foul cage. Look at the size of him. He's got mass, 262 pounds.
One of those guys that work on his body in the offseason, work on his agility and his skill down on the block, but he has the frame to really be a factor for Oregon State.
Prepped at Oak Hill Academy, originally from Houston, Texas.
Craig Robinson doing a nice job in recruiting, bringing in players. He's got bigs coming in after bigs.
Look at this Oregon team in terms of postseason, in conference, maybe beyond that. NIT possibly, NCAA, I mean, who knows? 13 and 12 on the year. They're 6 and 7.
They're capable, and they want to be in the top 6 in the Pac-10 tournament to make a run. It's almost impossible if you play on Wednesday night in the 8-9 game or the 7-10 game to make a run all the way through that Pac-10 tournament. So you want to finish, and that's one of the goals of this Oregon team, to finish in the top 6 so they don't have to play till Thursday.
Protects the ball with his body and reaching in with Singler. No. Foul's going to be on Cunningham on the drive. That's his second.
Yeah, that's his second. Be interesting to see. Yeah, Coach Robinson's going to come get him. Probably won't see Jared Cunningham till the second half.
Back in for Cunningham.
Cunningham's had a heck of a year this year, coming out of San Leandro High School in Oakland. We mentioned the free throws. He had a game where he had 8 steals. He has 71 for the year, trying to eclipse Gary Payton's sophomore record, school record.
How about this? Second-year guy's already set 3 school records. Steals in a game, consecutive free throws, and free throws in a game without a miss. So huge jump from his freshman year to his sophomore year. Nice to see.
Yeah, and he gets a breather with the foul trouble now with 4:48 remaining in the first half. Lloyd steps on the sideline when he receives the ball. A turnover, a rare one on Oregon, just their second of the afternoon, Don.
Dana Altman talking about execution against Oregon State's changing defenses. They have been really good in this first half of taking care of the basketball.
Joe Burton from steps. And Tyrone Narrett bothers him down low.
Good contest by Narrett.
Lloyd for 3. Boy, they have been absolutely on fire. 6 of 11.
The ball movement of Oregon has been terrific, but Oregon State a little bit slow in their rotations.
Wallace into the lane. Strowbridge just trying to rip it from him.
What's the ball movement in Oregon here? Quick, sharp passes.
Team number 6.
And that allows you enough space and time to get threes away, and another made 3 for Oregon.
Lathan Wallace at the line.
Shoot 6 of 11 from behind the 3-point line and only turn it over twice at home. You're probably going to have a pretty good lead.
While forcing 11 turnovers, and they have held Oregon State to 30% shooting on 6 of 20. Strowbridge goes over to the bench on his birthday, just turned 23 today.
important 4 minutes for Oregon State here. They got to finish this half well.
McShane got a piece, tips it away to Burton. Now McShane, this will be interesting. As it ripped away by Sim. Sim called to the foul.
Well, that's what it's going to take for Oregon State. They got to get turnovers and get out transition. You like the hustle in a rivalry game. It's the Civil War. Oregon up 16.
Take care of your car takes care of you. Don't use a low-quality gasoline. Leave scrub the engine. Use the gasoline that's clean. Chevron with Chevron. Care for your car.
Welcome back to the Civil War. Oregon has been downright uncivil, leading by 16, 3:50 left in the first half. J.R. Strowbridge leading the way coming off the bench, Don, an explosive effort.
4 or 5 from the floor, 2 or 3 from the three-point line, 10 big points for Oregon.
All right, just for men game summary. Strowbridge 10 points on 4 of 5 shooting. During 23 today, Oregon had a 25-4 run. A 25-5 run in the first meeting of the year between the two clubs when they led by 17 with 3 minutes to go in the first half.
Jovan Catron back to the Oregon lineup.
Strowbridge has been pretty good here at this arena. 60% field goal shooting for Matthew Knight Arena. And this is
Kevin McShane.
You always play well on your birthday, don't you? You have to. But yeah, Strowbridge, noticeable difference between being anywhere else and here at Matthew Knight in his shooting. You must like the sight lines in the background here in this arena.
Ducks are 3-1 with their only loss coming to UCLA. Oregon State has made themselves at home at the line where they have had 10 of 10. McShane. And now Burton with a rebound. Starts early on the clock, 31 to shoot for a 3. Burton again with an offensive rebound.
But that's what he does, and you got to let it fly. I thought a little hesitation that time from Starks. Just catch it and let it go.
Wallace again, as Oregon State has through this entire first half, trying to beat the double team with the dribble down.
How many times have people stepped on the sideline or end line today? It seems like there's been a lot here this afternoon. But just ill-advised, and if you're down this big, you can't afford to have those careless turnovers to close this half.
Wallace and McShane close ranks on Lloyd. He throws the ball cross court and out of bounds. Our Acura halftime report features a look around the campus here in Eugene. And a first half recap. That's at half. Our Acura halftime report. 3:09 left here in the first half. Matthew Knight Arena along with Donald Link, Kevin Calabro on hand. And it has been all Oregon. A 15-point lead.
That was the first time that last possession that Oregon looked uncomfortable against the Oregon State defense.
Starks, beautiful step back on Lloyd.
See if they can close this thing to single digits before halftime.
Well, there's a turnover again on Oregon. So that outside zone starting to take its toll. 5 turnovers on the Ducks.
When they start changing it up and raising their level, and getting in passing lanes and really being more aggressive, Oregon State's really good.
Another offensive rebound. Haynes reloads. Wallace for 3, and that changes things a little bit. It gets the Ducks' attention. They call a timeout.
That's the boost they needed. Get a couple stops, get a couple hoops, and all of a sudden, it's a 10-point game.
8-0 run. Take a look.
Lathan Wallace, nothing fancy offensively, just over the top. And I mentioned earlier in the half, he is the one guy that can get it going from behind that line. He and Calvin Haynes. So let's see if that gives him a spark.
Car Warriors. Have you heard about this? This is interesting. Introducing Car Warriors, the only show where a team of all-star mechanics take on a team of average Joes in a 72-hour race to build the ultimate ride. Car Warriors premieres Wednesday, February 23rd at 9 Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, only on Speed. Wild crowd on hand here. This is the pit. We made the transition beautifully from Matt Court here to Matthew Knight Arena. The players, the coaches, and the fans as well.
1-3-1. Here comes Singler again on the pick.
Singler got a ride there. He got knocked right on his tea kettle and backwards by the strapping Kevin McShane.
I think a little message sent there by McShane. They don't like this pick coming up. It's disrupting what they do. And, you know, we showed you earlier that effective move by Oregon to pick that top guy. McShane takes one for the team there, knocks Singler down.
Double bonus now for Singler as Oregon State is over the limit. E.J. Singler, 6'6" sophomore out of South Medford High School, Medford, Oregon. 16 in the last meeting between the two clubs. And of course, earlier this year, played his older brother Kyle Singler in Portland, Oregon, when the Ducks took on Duke. Very, very talented family. Had their father, a football player at Oregon State, a quarterback, Chris, the mom, basketball at Oregon State.
How did he get to Oregon if your mom played at Oregon State? EJ, the only guy to start every game for Oregon so far this season.
2 minutes left in the first half. Joe Burton is providing a lift off the bench on the glass to the end line. Nice pass to Haynes, but he tripped over his own man.
The contest by Oregon at the rim this afternoon has been really good.
Sim for 3. Sim knocked down and the closeout by Wallace pops up and gets the loose ball. Sends it cross court to Singler.
See the level come up for Oregon State, getting after it the last couple minutes here defensively.
39-27 Ducks. Minute and a half now left in the first half. 21 to shoot. Williams. Long rebound gets away, but Sim scrambles to get it, and a reset again for the Ducks.
Got to dig those out if you're Oregon State. Get a stop, you give it right back to him.
Ducks are 6 of 13, 46% from 3, and Sim to fire another one. Suddenly the three not falling for Oregon. Ketron falls down, and Burton, backstepping, tumbles over him. Foul on Joe Burton.
You're right. Good offense by Oregon. Free throw line and then swing it weak side. Another good look for Sim. And Oregon's gone a little bit cold here to finish this first half.
Ketron 1 of 5 from the field in this one. 7 points and 4 rebounds for the big man from just outside of Chicago, Illinois.
Well, that's the one thing Oregon State has done is Ketron hasn't gone off. That's his 8th point. Done a pretty good job of limiting him in this first half.
A minute left now in the first half. 41-27. Ducks have had command of this game. Until an 8-0 burst recently by Oregon State. They pulled to within 10. Starks for three. And Burton got a piece of K-Tron. A loose ball foul on Joe Burton.
Well, you'd like Starks to look to be aggressive from behind that three-point line, but that wasn't a very good shot. And another foul by Burton's going to send Oregon back to the free throw line.
At the line for two, Jovan K-Tron.
We talked about Oregon State closing this half and closing the gap, trying to get it to single digits. K-Tron makes both of these free throws. They pushed it back out to 16.
Angus Brandt back in for the Beavers.
Angus Brandt will step back in for Joe Burton.
Jonathan Lloyd in for Garrett Sim.
They were expecting a sellout here this afternoon at Matthew Knight Arena. Elton John was here on Thursday night. Harlem Globetrotters were here last night. Free throw up and in, and there's a feeling here now, Don, that fans are coming not necessarily to experience the new building, but actually coming to see the basketball team. They are building real enthusiasm.
Absolutely. They've had great support here over the years. Back to when I played in the late 80s, early 90s, and expect that to continue.
Beavers beat the trap. Wallace lays it up and in. Beautifully done.
Great finish by Wallace. And again, in transition, they get through the pressure of Oregon. They're going to get easier looks on the backside. That time Wallace gets a layup.
Wallace with 9. The Ducks lead by 13. They'll have the last possession if they wish. 11 seconds remaining in the first half. Boyd off the screen. Narrett with 2 to shoot. Johnson the rebound, and that will be that. Ending the first half of the Civil War. 335th meeting between these two clubs, and it's Oregon 42, Oregon State 29. When we return, it's the Acura Halftime Report.
Bingo with the Daisy Ducks and Weimar. $100 gift certificate from Weimar every game. Today the pot is $1,000. So get your cards out. If you get a bingo, help your section, help yourself. Up to here. And here we go. Bingo. They're also up on night vision. First number today, 063. 063. In the G column, G49. G49. In the I column, I30. I30. Back in the G column for G53. G53. Back and forth to the I column, I28. I28. First chance at bingo. E8. E8. Back in that I column, I26. I26. We have a bingo. Ooh, one.
So here we are within one of the lecture halls within the Lillis Business Complex. From 2009 to 2010, there were about 4,000 undergraduates studying business here at the university.
Well, second round of the Pepsi Challenge. Each person, 35 seconds to score as many points as they can. Jack Dugan and John McCullough are first shooters. Looks like they're going for the big one right from the start. You guys ready? You got 35 seconds. Shoot. They're going to just stay right there. They've probably been practicing all week. Well, there's two. Seconds. There's four.
Halfway through here in Eugene, Oregon, it's our Acura halftime report with Oregon leading Oregon State in the Civil War 42-29. How about we all go back to school? Let's take a look at what's happening here at the University of Oregon.
Here we are within one of the lecture halls within the Lillis Business Complex. From 2009 to 2010, there were about 4,000 undergraduates studying business here at the University of Oregon. While studying business, students are able to further concentrate within the major in areas such as business administration, finance, entrepreneurship, and sports marketing. Aside from being a lecture hall, this room is actually full of technological advancements. For example, the windows. They actually adjust to the ambient lighting, so we don't have to worry about switching lights on and off during class. They'll actually tint themselves according to how it is outside. Also, throughout the room are smart plugs, and the smart plugs can actually sense when there's no one in the room anymore, and they're able to shut off extra lights and anything else that might be plugged in. The physical structure to the Lillis Business Complex is actually what makes it most sustainable. The concrete structure in which it was built actually absorbs heat, so on cool Eugene days, we don't have to worry about heating the building as much. Also, up on the roof, we have solar panels. These solar panels generate energy not only for the building, but the extra energy is sold to eWeb. The building itself is actually 50% more sustainable than the state of Oregon requires. Behind us is the Warsaw Sports Marketing Center, located on the 4th floor of the Lillis Business Complex. The University of Oregon founded the very first sports marketing program, and it is continuously ranked as one of the top in the country. Sports marketing students are able to learn marketing within the context of sports, opposed to taking the skills they would learn in a marketing class and simply applying it to the industry. So here we are in the atrium of the Lillis Business Complex. It was designed to make sure there was lots of meeting room, so there's a place to go if you want to grab a cup of coffee with some friends or catch up on some homework in between classes. All the natural light makes it a really enjoyable place to hang out around campus. I hope you enjoyed your look at the Lundquist College of Business and the Lillis Business Complex here at the University of Oregon, and go Ducks!
State-of-the-art stuff indeed. And here is Matthew Knight Arena, newly opened, where the Ducks have firm command of the Civil War, up 13 halfway through.
Craft Break Club Bingo and the Women's Games, the Legends of Oregon Golf Tournament, and band, and many others. A big thanks to the representatives of Oregon Club booster organizations, as well as their many members, for their generous support of Oregon athletics. Thank you, everybody. Give them one more big hand. Basket by Nathan Wallace. To purchase a ticket, you can call the Oregon 503 or 123768. For your commercial cleaning needs, choose Janny King, King of Cleaning, and visit JannyKing.com today for more information. This year's Pac-10 basketball tournaments held in LA. Men and women both in action March 9th through the 12th. Tickets available now by calling the athletic ticket office at 1-800-WEPFOOT, or you can go online at GoDucks.com. You can redeem today's Oregon State ticket back at local Farrell's Jr. AT&T location. Receive a special offer thanks to Farrell's Jr. and AT&T for sponsoring the ticket back.
The Acura halftime report, 42-29, Oregon leading Oregon State. Jovan Catron, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 7 of 10 from the line to lead the Ducks. And coming off the bench, the senior, Lathan Wallace with 7. 13-point lead for the Ducks.
Tickets available soon on GoDucks.com. Here come your Ducks.
So you got the boy working on his scholarship, huh? Yeah, good. Small forward. Yeah.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah, Strowbridge is leading them, right?
The Acura halftime report here in Eugene, Oregon, the Civil War right now. Oregon holding a 13-point advantage, and they have done a lot of things right, Don McClain. They have been shooting the ball extremely well. forcing turnovers and taking care of the basketball.
You know what, their bench really came off and gave them a spark, though. Strowbridge leading them at halftime with 10 points. DeAndre Williams made a couple. Malcolm Armstead made a couple, and that's what you need. If your starters aren't making shots, bench guys got to be ready to play, come in, and affect the game, and that's exactly what Oregon's bench did. A big reason why they have a double-digit lead here at halftime.
Oregon State, conversely, they have not taken care of the ball. 12 turnovers. They've not been shooting it well either on the road, 33%. And the bench scoring, as Don said, a 7-point advantage for the Ducks. We've got the second half run around the corner. This has been the Acura Halftime Report.
Contact the group sales department and visit GoDucks.com for more information.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3,
Civic Insurance Health Plans is sponsoring today's Civil War matchup. If you ordered a special message on the scoreboard, they're now up on night vision.
Welcome back to Eugene, Pac-10 Hoops, presented by KFC. Don McLean, Kevin Calabro, Oregon leading Oregon State 42-29. Well, one thing Oregon State can do to get back into this game, Don, is play better defense.
Well, they were better at the end of the first half. You could tell they raised their level, their intensity was up. So let's see if they can carry that over here to start the second half.
Joe Burton will start the second half for Oregon State, the big man, along with Amon Starks and Jared Cunningham, the guards. Devon Collier, the freshman, and Angus Brandt inside as well for Oregon State. It's Brandt with the basketball.
Trying to go inside out to Brandt, kick out the shooters.
This is Brandt squaring, getting a good look. And the Ducks come down to the rebound. Jovan Catron, 6'6", 245. Tyrone Narrett at 6'8" really is the extent of their length. They were red hot, remember, in the first half from beyond the arc down. It'll be interesting in their first heat check to see what happens here.
It was their bench guys in particular that came off and really sparked them.
Sim somehow finds a man. It's Lloyd at the top, and then just in the corner does Sim, but missed the three.
Well, pretty good offense. Used most of the clock, but got the shot they wanted. Sim, a wide open look in the corner.
Stark's jump pass is deflected, controlled by Singler. Stark's getting it back, knocked down by Lloyd, and a foul on Jonathan Lloyd.
Over-penetration has really hurt Oregon State today, whether they turn it over with a pass or turn it over with an offensive foul. But again, Oregon State, a young team, so the decision-making process comes with time. But give Oregon credit. They're stepping in there, taking charges, getting their hands in passing lanes, and making it really difficult for Oregon State to score against that zone.
Lloyd and Sim come out. In comes Armstead and Strowbridge at guards for Dana Altman's Oregon Ducks. Oregon's so good on the side of bringing those two men out and trapping immediately. And Oregon State, whether it's because they've not been getting rid of the ball or because Oregon's so quick to it, they've lost the ball a number of times down there.
Whoever gets doubled down there has either got to go quick or kick it out quick. The worst thing you can do is hold it and accept the double team.
Starks off the screen, knocks down the jump shot.
Be aggressive with the ball. Ahmad Starks has proven he can make shots quickly off the screen roll, pull-up jumper.
Catron nearly had it dislodged. Recovers.
Oregon seemingly a little bit content here to run clock, run offense, and look to score.
Collier picks up the loose ball to Cunningham. And again, trying to make something happen. He was too quick. He knifes into Armstead, and Cunningham with his third foul.
Terrific job by Armstead to get back, get set up, and take the hit. But Cunningham's got to recognize he had two guys running behind him, and I think he saw him, but he saw him too late. Oregon State would have had an easy layup, but that's the thing, Kevin. This team has had trouble converting to offense all season long.
Third foul on Cunningham. He gets the quick hook. 17:46 left in the ball game. Go deep to Catron. Shot denied by Burton and by Brandt.
Nice job by Burton to stand him up. And then Brandt comes over and swats it away.
.14 to shoot on the inbounds now for the Ducks.
It's hard to believe with how long Oregon State went between buckets in the first half. They're only down 11.
Strowbridge. Air ball tipped up, recovered by Strowbridge. No reset on that one. Did not hit the rim. And now Oregon State will take it.
Great recognition by Strowbridge. Awareness to know that he had to get that one up.
Calvin Haynes hits a fader in traffic. Beautiful shot. 42-33, Oregon.
In single digits, another turnover. Here comes Oregon State.
Haynes does not have numbers. He'll hold up. Gets the screen from Collier. Feeling it. Lets it fly. Going to the rebound. Men going down. Brandt was decked, and then as he was trying to get down the floor, he rammed into Narrett inadvertently and knocks him down, and the foul's on Brandt.
Calvin Haynes, the senior, he's had some big games in his career at Oregon State. This is his last Civil War game, so you wonder if maybe that little floater right there can get him going in the second half, get his team back in this thing.
Oregon State in the 2-3 zone. Play 1-3-1. Strowbridge cross-court to Armstead. Catron really battling inside, trying to get down on the low level there, get behind the zone defense. Another Duck turnover.
Oregon State's defense starting to rise up here a little bit, starting to string together some stops. But again, their offense has to follow, and that's been the biggest problem for them all year.
4 turnovers on Oregon already here in the second half. Starks is tripped up, no whistle. Singler the other way. Nearly intercepted by Collier. It got through to Strowbridge, and he hits the mid-range shot.
Oregon State, the reason they lead the country in steals is they try and get them. They gamble a little bit. That time Collier gambles. Strowbridge makes him pay.
Starks, great find inside the Burton, recovering as Narrett to block it. Burton grabbed it and laid it in.
Pretty good recovery by Narrett there. Burton stays with it and gets the deuce.
You got two, Joe.
Really surprised at how patient Oregon is being.
Strowbridge offering from three is off. Long rebound, gathered in by the Beavers. Haynes in transition. Collier the recovery. Clock starts. That is Chicago, Illinois feeding to Joe Burton and a foul down low on Singler. Timeout called.
Big Joe Burton trying to keep him in it with the finish. Stays with it. Oregon State within 9.
Time now to honor the extraordinary man we will always call Coach. Coach John R. Wooden once said, "I'd rather have a lot of talent and a little experience than a lot of experience and a little talent." In 1970-71, Coach had both talent and experience, led by seniors Sidney Wicks, Curtis Rowe, and Steve Patterson. UCLA would go 29-1 to win the Bruins' 5th straight crown. And we remember him best by his own words. Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. It's courage that counts. Time now to honor the extraordinary man we will always call Coach. Coach John R. Wooden once said, "I'd rather have a lot of talent and a little experience than a lot of experience and a little talent." In 1970-71, Coach had both talent and experience, led by seniors Sidney Wicks, Curtis Rowe, and Steve Patterson. UCLA would go 29-1 to win the Bruins' 5th straight crown. And we remember him best by his own words. Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. It's courage that counts.
We remember John R. Wooden. John Wooden from Martinsville, Indiana, played at Purdue University and by all accounts was an outstanding, almost freakish athlete himself at Purdue.
The greatest coach of all time in college basketball, and a lot of those sayings, and I love watching those as we've gone through this season. A lot of those sayings you hear a lot, but they mean a lot too.
Like be quick but don't hurry, and that's what Oregon State did just there as they threw it out of bounds on coming right out of timeout.
Well, let's see if Oregon, they've only gotten 2 field goal attempts here in the first 5 minutes of this half because they've been turning it over. They're being awfully patient. Let's see if they don't try and pick it up a little bit. The reason they had success in the first half, good player movement, good ball movement, really whipping that ball around.
Katron out high trying to get low. Reverse pass outside to Armstead. Slants in and laid it in.
Better offense that time, obviously, for Oregon. Penetration leads to an easy one for Armstead.
Now full court pressure applied by Oregon, trying to get the ball out of the hands of Starks.
It's a good move by Coach Altman. Get the crowd back into it, bring the level up.
Armstead with the rip, the assist, Strowbridge the bucket, just like that. Oregon takes command again, down 48-35.
Yeah, the game was flat coming out of the locker room for Oregon. They looked to be too patient. We brought it up now.
Starks triggers deep. A 2-point shot. He was standing astride the arc.
Like the aggressiveness, and he has that ability. He shot more threes than anybody on Oregon State's team. Big time shot there.
Collier chases down Strowbridge, forces the loose ball. Haynes the other way, avoiding Armstead beautifully. He laid it in.
Talked about the inability to convert on turnovers. That time Haynes just took it himself and finished the play.
Now the pace quickens here after the timeout.
Back and forth we go.
Stepping in, DeAndre Williams. Burton keeps it alive, and a foul called on the Ducks in pursuit of the loose ball.
Oregon State makes a little run, then Oregon makes a little run. If Oregon State's going to come all the way back, they have to sustain this run that they're on and continue to get stopped.
Cunningham is going to come back in. Jared Cunningham, the Beavers' leading scorer, just under 14 a game, but remember, playing with 3 fouls.
Going to need him to score this last 13:35. They're going to come all the way back.
Get difficult, just 5 field goal attempts. And he's been to the line just 3 times.
Difficult transition when you become the guy, though. And Cunningham's been the guy for Oregon State all year. The next step for him is being able to counter what the opposing defenses do to you and try and take you out of your offense.
Roberto Nelson trying to make inroads, had it stripped, and a foul called on Malcolm Armstead.
4th team foul.
That's the 4th team foul on the Ducks and the 3rd on Armstead.
Nelson's been an interesting story this year. You know, he finally got to play sat out for a year because of academic stuff, and he's back eligible after the first semester. And we all wondered, because he was so highly regarded coming out of high school, why he wasn't playing more. But Craig Robinson talked about the fact that he didn't want to disrupt what had already started this season. And then he did put him in the starting lineup, and he didn't play as well as maybe he thought, maybe lost a little bit of confidence. But I think Roberto Nelson, before it's all said and done, is going to be a terrific player for Oregon State. He's got way too much talent.
Coming into this afternoon's play, he led Oregon State in assists total. Here's Strowbridge the other way. Big trades by Nelson now. 26 to shoot for the Ducks.
Singler's been quiet this afternoon.
They've had so many other weapons going, including DeAndre Williams early with a couple of threes. Of course, Armstead and Strowbridge off the bench. Strowbridge, happy birthday to you. 23 years old today. He has been on fire.
17, and he's really been coming on of late. This isn't a surprise here. As the season's gone on, he's gotten more comfortable, shooting a higher percentage, and scoring more points.
He's at 7 of 11 now from the field, has 17 points. Well, the Beavers have to counter that somehow. Nelson trying to do just that off the screen.
Strowbridge going to get a career high. Wallace with the answer.
Wallace on the kick out for 3.
Keeps going back and forth, doesn't it? One team makes a big shot, the other one answers. The other one makes a run, the other one answers.
Oregon up 8. Oregon State scrambling back into this thing now with 12 minutes left.
This is what they do. They've done it a lot this year. Get down big early and scratch and claw their way back into it.
Strowbridge is in a zone. 20 points for J.R. Strowbridge. The transfer from Jacksonville State from Nebraska and Oregon making the inroads. 54-43 Ducks with a timeout. The most innovative thinking you'll find in an Acura. And by MFS Investment Management, creating innovative investments for financial. Pac-10 College Hoops is brought to you by Acura. The most innovative thinking you'll find in an Acura. And by MFS Investment Management, creating innovative investments for financial professionals, their clients, and institutional investors since 1924. Welcome back along with Don McLean, Kevin Calabro on hand. The Civil War, Oregon leading Oregon State 54-43, 11:45 to go in the second half. Take a look at our Reese's Perfect Combination. J.R. Strowbridge on his 23rd birthday today, and Jovan Catron outside and inside.
And also, when it's your last go-round in the Civil War, it probably means a little bit more. And both these seniors stepping up here this afternoon, giving Oregon an 11-point lead.
Beavers face full court pressure. Cunningham looking at Strowbridge. Cunningham and Nelson, Burton, McShane, and Wallace on the floor now for Oregon State. This is the sophomore, Cunningham. Loose ball foul. Oregon State, and we'll come right back after the timeout.
Shield dedicated to the well-being of the community where we live and work. Visit GoDucks.com. Click on Regions Tips from the Trainers for weekly health and wellness advice. And don't forget to check out the Hoodoo Hustle Board.
Just for Men game summary. J.R. Strowbridge on his birthday, game high 20 points. Turnovers, Oregon State 17, Oregon 10. 40% shooting for the Beavers down in Oregon at 45% here at home.
Yeah, Strowbridge only the second Duck to score 20 points in a game this year. But he's been big time off the bench for them. And Malcolm Armstead also, you didn't see him on that graphic though. 7 points, 10 assists in 15 minutes here this afternoon.
He is on, along with Strowbridge right now, DeAndre Williams, E.J. Singler, Tyrone Derrick.
Oregon State's got to be aware of where he is.
Oh, he's got that look.
Look out. J.R. Strowbridge didn't need that much room. Another big three for him.
5 of 7 out beyond the arc for Strowbridge. 9 of 13 in total, 23 points. 10:41 left. Nathan Wallace had a look. He'll swing it cross court. Here's Wallace, a standstill three from long range. Nelson,
rebound.
Terrific rebound. Cunningham a look for three. Another offensive rebound. Collier banks it in, count the basket, and Devon Collier is fouled.
Great job by Collier to rip that ball away, take the hit. Watch this. Take the hit from Singler, go right through it, and finish the play. He'll get an extra free throw. But Oregon State just cannot buy a perimeter shot right now. And Oregon, you get the feeling, is kind of letting them shoot those out there. They'll live with Oregon State shooting those three balls.
Now the Beavers are 2 of 14 from 3, and here's Collier up at the line, and a 57% free throw shooter. He converts.
Way too much time, though. An 11-point game. Oregon State still within reach.
57-46 count as the Ducks bring it up. Strowbridge has scored the last 11 points. This is Singler. Armstead with 10 assists this afternoon to Tyrone Narrett. Why not?
They're hedging on Strowbridge now, and that leaves the weak side open, and Narrett makes a pay.
10 of 21 from beyond the arc for the Ducks. Nelson to the end line. Nice pass to Burton. Narrett bothered him on the way up.
Good penetration by Nelson, a good find. Just couldn't finish.
Singler makes the extra pass. Narrett for 3. Burton the rebound. Narrett intercepts the outlet. Strowbridge is tied up. And a held ball.
Extra possession for Oregon. Strowbridge should have just kicked that ball out and run more offense. Tried to get Strowbridge another deuce.
Ducks up 14. They had a commanding lead in the first half. Oregon State trying to scramble back into this thing, and the Ducks, however, have been red hot. 46% as a team, 10 of 21 from 3 from this man, 12 assists. And he may get another here as Singler's wide open. And cracks it another 3. And Don McLean, 11 of 22 shooting from three-point range. Hard to beat that. Duck team at home shooting that way.
And they got the crowd back in it again, but what a play design on the baseline out of bounds. Singler wide open in the corner for that 3. And not good communication by Oregon State to let one of the key guys for the other team slide down to that corner and get such a wide open look.
And Oregon hoping to stay in the top 6 and get a bye, if you will, in the first round of the Pac-10 tournament. Here's how important it is with Washington State losing today, Don, and Oregon very possibly taking care of business at home.
Here's what happens in the Pac-10 tournament. The first game on Wednesday night is the 8 seed versus the 9 seed. Second game, 7-10. So if you have to play Wednesday night, you have to play Thursday, Friday, and Saturday if you're going to win the whole thing. Well, if you're in the top 6, you only play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it's never been done, a team that plays on Wednesday to go all the way through and win the Pac-10 tournament. So Dana Altman, really, his rallying cry here to finish the Pac-10 season is, hey guys, we got to finish in that top 6 to give ourselves a chance to make a run through the Pac-10 tournament.
Oregon still with home games coming up on the 24th and 26th against Cal and Stanford before going on the road to the Arizona schools. Here's Starks. After the timeout, missing Armstead, who has a career-high 13 assists. Throws to Singler, out to Strowbridge. He nails a 3 in transition, and the hits keep on coming for Strowbridge.
J.R. Strowbridge, get hot and stay hot.
6 of 8 from 3, 26 points for the young man.
We've mentioned him, but can't say enough. The obvious is Strowbridge, but Malcolm Armstead has been really good here this afternoon. Making good decisions, running the show, but it makes it a lot easier when your outlet is on fire. Strowbridge, 6 of 8 from behind the three-point line. And that is the new record here at Matthew Knight, 26 points for an individual performance.
Oregon State has to call a timeout as they are befuddled by that Oregon zone. The top of the Pac-10, of course, an important game coming up down in Tucson.
Absolutely. Washington at Arizona this afternoon. UCLA's at Cal tomorrow night. And it's a three-horse race, and it's hard to call right now because UCLA's got Arizona at home, but they got to go to Washington. Today's game, I think, is going to tell us a lot. Who wins that Washington at Arizona game? But those three teams solidly in the NCAA tournament, but now playing for the Pac-10 regular season title.
Washington had another injury occurrence. They obviously have lost Abdul Gaddy early in the Pac-10 season, but Scott Suggs is out with a sprained MCL. Will be out for at least 3 games. They are reporting back in Seattle, and stepping in today will be the senior Benoit Overton, the team with Isaiah Thomas.
What I love about those big games is watching individuals rise up. Are you going to get a monster performance from somebody today in that Washington-Arizona game? And maybe somebody you wouldn't expect. We know Isaiah Thomas, Derek Williams, but who are the other guys that's going to step up and get their team a W in that game?
You know, Singler has played an outstanding floor game. He's a guy that's capable of scoring, capable of shooting a 3. He's only had the 4 attempts. You've seen him a number of times making the pass to a pass that leads to a bucket as Patron scores down deep.
That's what you like about Singler, not forcing it, just trying to impact the game in other ways, and he's done a good job of that. But when you got a guy like Strowbridge that's just not missing, you want to get him the ball, and that's going to sacrifice some of your FGAs.
7:48 remaining. Lathan Wallace jump stops into the lane, and the senior is bumped and fouled. Timeout called. Right now, it's all Ducks. Leading at home at Matthew 9, 68-46. Pac-10 Hoops presented this afternoon by KFC. Pac-10 College Hoops is presented by KFC Hot Wings. Taste so good, they don't need sauce. And brought to you in part by your local Lexus dealer, who invite. Pac-10 College Hoops is presented. Pac-10 College Hoops is presented by KFC Hot Wings. Taste so good, they don't need sauce. And brought to you in part by your local Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. And by Verizon, America's largest and most reliable wireless network. Welcome back to the Great Northwest. I'm Don McLean, Kevin Calabro on hand. Oregon leading Oregon State 68-46. Take a look at our Motel 6. Sixth man of the game, Malcolm Armstead. He's done it all today.
Well, he came off the bench initially in the first half and knocked down a couple jumpers, but ever since he's been the distributor. 13 assists, and a lot of them to Strowbridge, but just a terrific overall game. Malcolm Armstead, 13 assists, 1 turnover, pretty good ratio there.
Oh my goodness. And of course, big smile.
Nothing known, we just gave him the award, the Motel 6 sixth man of the game.
That's right. Lathan Wallace is at the free throw line. Playing in his last Civil War. His free throws up and in. Jefferson High School in Portland, Oregon.
Number 30, Daniel Dean.
Daniel Dean will get some run now for Oregon State. He'll come in to get Wallace.
Daniel Dean not playing much at all this year. Played some last year, but not much at all this year.
Strowbridge has been the man on fire on his birthday. Strowbridge 26 points, 6 of 8 from 3, and he has absolutely dismantled Oregon State. 16 of 23 from the field in 2 games played against the Beavers. That's 70% shooting.
Oregon State man-to-man for the first time on that possession. And they get it into Catron and just let him go to work.
His third, 4th team foul.
It's a dangerous Oregon team, Kevin. We're talking about them finishing, you know, in the top 6 so that they wouldn't have to play on Wednesday night. This is a team, particularly if a guy like Strowbridge, Sim, those guys stay hot from the perimeter. This is a team, because we've seen all year, teams unexpectedly beat other teams. This Oregon team could get some momentum and make a deep run in that Pac-10 tournament.
And of course, Dana Altman, the 52-year-old, in his first year here in Oregon, 16 years at Creighton in the tough Missouri Valley Conference. He's led them to 13 consecutive postseason appearances there at Creighton.
Well, and that's the thing too. New coach, new system, so it took some time. And now they're playing their best basketball of the season this deep into the season, but I think a big reason why is they've gotten used to Coach Altman and what he wants, terminology, all those things. But Oregon, as I said, is going to be a dangerous team here the next couple weeks to finish the regular season and then in the Pac-10 tournament.
That game at Arizona should be interesting. March the 5th.
Spoiler. Arizona's contending for the regular season title. Oregon go in there and knock them off. But a lot to be played before then.
That's true. Here is Cunningham to the line, who had some difficulties with fouls early in the contest. That's curtailed his minutes to a degree. And he's not been able to get clean looks at the basket. And he's been to the line just the 5 times. He's 5 of 5, has 9 points. Leading scorer for Oregon State. Just under 14 a game coming into today's.
What Strowbridge did today, I thought, needed to happen from Cunningham if they were going to come in here and knock off Oregon. Just a monster performance, 25 plus, just never materialized.
Dean with a beautiful block at the rim. Denies Sim. Leading to a Starks spot for 3. Deflects it to Singler. Yeah, you're right about it. Early in the season, they were getting adjusted. They had some moments against Duke when they played in Portland. That's when Kyrie Irving was still playing for Duke and healthy. They put 54 points on the board in the second half of a 3-point loss to a very good Missouri team who lost 83-80 at Mac Court.
Even though Ernie Kent left, he left some players here, but they had a lot of defection, so you wondered with all these first-year guys how it would all gel. I think we're starting to see now how good of a coach Dana Altman is, because he's gotten a lot of these guys who had never played together with the new system to come together here just past the halfway point in the Pac-10 season.
Strowbridge and Armstead come off the bench, but you can see who finishes here. It's Strowbridge and Armstead with 6:18 left in this ball game. 70-49 the count. The numbers have been very good too since they moved to Matt Knight Arena, Don.
Well, they were on a losing streak, and when they opened this against USC, they knocked off the Trojans, and it seems like ever since then, now they haven't won every game, but ever since that game, I think it really kind of sparked them the rest of this season.
6-3 since moving into the new arena. 3-1 actually in the new arena. UCLA the only team to beat them here. Singler will get it in bounds.
They had UCLA down 15 in that game.
Singler is on and scores, and E.J. Singler will head to the free throw line.
Singler, as we talked about, been doing a lot of the other things here today. Takes the hit from Dean, gets it up on the rim, gets it to drop.
Amari Johnson will step in, and Joe Burton will retire to the bench. Singler with 9 points here this afternoon.
Oregon's got Cal and Stanford here next week. Middle of the pack, Pac-10 teams also. But again, for them, they're trying to finish in that top 6 in the conference standings.
inside. Nice move.
He's played well since he's come in.
Pass by Daniel Dean.
Two Alabamans, Strowbridge and Armstead, have put Oregon State right now down 22 points, 73-51, 5.5 minutes remaining. And Garrett Sim will step to the line. There aren't that many players on this floor actually from the state of Oregon, but Garrett Sim is one of them from Oregon. Went to Sunset High School. Singler and Sim are from Oregon, and Wallace and McShane are from Oregon as well, representing the Beavers.
They understand the importance of the Civil War, having grown up here, not just in men's basketball, but all the other sports, football, women's basketball. Usually they raise their level in these games.
Dean comes off that bench, energized. He's got broad shoulders and sharp elbows. He took it inside. You can see the Ducks just kind of clear out. They want no part of him.
He's still playing. He's getting an opportunity. I mentioned earlier, hasn't played a bunch this year. So when he gets his chance, he's taking advantage of it. 1 year at Utah, you see there. Still working hard in practice every day. Nice to see him get an opportunity.
Ducks now spread the floor with 5 minutes remaining. And on top here by 20.
Speaking of playing time, it's interesting, both of these teams, it's a sign of having young team for Oregon State and a lot of first-year players for Oregon. 9 different starting lineups for both of these teams so far this season.
Guess who had that rebound? Daniel Dean. And he wants the ball running the floor, just chugging down the wing. Okay. Nelson open for the 3-look. Tiptoes to the end line, setting up Amari Johnson.
See Armstead pull this one back. Let's finish this game out.
K-Tron make that Armstead with the crossovers, forced outside. Good decision. 4:19 left and 24 on the shot clock. Armstead straight arms Nelson to get him off. Nelson tracks him and banks it out of bounds.
What a recovery by Nelson there. Got beat. I thought Armstead was going to have a free path to the rim, and Nelson didn't give up on it and swatted that thing away.
Armstead, the lefty, lines up, missed it. Dean with a rebound.
Strowbridge wants 30. He's on the offensive glass now.
Wallace the other way. Singler the rebound. And a timeout with 3:53 left. It's all Oregon. Pac-10 Hoops presented today by KFC.
Take on the California Bears. Thursday's game, 6 o'clock game.
Oregon up 20 with 3:53 left in the ball game. Let's take a look at our Toyo Tigers driven to perform.
J.R. Strowbridge, his previous career high was 18. He's got 26 here this afternoon. Came in looking to score and continued to score throughout the entire game. 6 of 8 from behind the three-point line, 10 of 15 overall. Magnificent performance for J.R. Strowbridge.
Played in Nebraska for Doc Sadler for a couple of years. Actually started on some teams there in Nebraska, and then transferred to Jacksonville State, and now on to Oregon. See if they find him here on the wing. They do, but the instructions are let's use clock. 3:33 left, Singler for 3. Nelson the rebound. Roberto Nelson out of Santa Barbara. Nice find of Haynes, and Singler knocked him down. Calvin Haynes will shoot 2. Career high 26 for Strowbridge. 10 of 15 shooting from the field. The first dunk player other than Jovan Catron with a 20-point game this year.
And how many times have you seen that in any sport? Birthday, guy goes crazy. Congratulations to J.R. Strowbridge for a magnificent performance here on his birthday today. See if he can keep it going and keep getting Oregon some wins. Can't say enough about head coach Dana Altman, the job he's done here. A lot of people, they were picked to finish 10th in the preseason media poll, and here they are in the upper echelon of the conference. With this win here this afternoon, they're going to be tied with Washington State for 4th place in the conference.
When they had the press conference to announce him as the coach, they did it here at Matthews Knight Arena, but they didn't have the floor down at that time. So what they did was with the gravel underline, before they'd even poured the concrete, they had marked it off with tape showing where the lines would be for the actual basketball court. And now that this arena has been finished, he absolutely has landed in the right spot. Remember, there were a number of other candidates that were openly talked about for this Oregon job. Some very, very big-time names, including Brad Stevens, coming off the great success of Butler University.
And he's proven that he can coach. Now what it is just getting players with him. He's got to be able to recruit here, but how could you struggle to recruit at a place like this, and this building, brand new, all the support that they have, and I expect Oregon to be contending here in the Pac-10 shortly.
Oregon will draw even with a win here this afternoon in Pac-10 play. Here's Lathan deep 3. Wow, was it ever?
25-footer.
76-58, 2:35 remaining here in the second half of play. That's a glowing comment from their own fans, just like football. That was a pretty successful football program, I have to say.
Yeah, that's the thing with all the success here at Oregon in football. Basketball has really got to do a job to keep up with what Chip Kelly's doing on the football side of things here.
2 minutes left in this one. Wallace again. Wow.
Another deep 3 for Wallace.
And you could probably you'd be hard-pressed, I think, to squeeze a dollar bill under his feet. He doesn't leave his feet on that shot.
That's kind of what I was calling for in that first half when he came in the game. He's capable of stringing together some three-point makes, and you see right there 2 in a row from deep range.
Oregon today has been productive from beyond the arc, 13 of 25 from three-point range.
And that one was the exclamation point right there.
Here's Haynes for 3 missing. Well, today, women's basketball, Baylor, #1 in the country, lost to Texas Tech. And tomorrow, some outstanding women's basketball right here. See #2 UConn beat #8 Notre Dame today. #3 Stanford playing at UCLA tomorrow on FSN. #3 Stanford, #9 UCLA.
That's a big game.
That'll be a beauty.
2 top 10 teams going after each other. And I said earlier about that. You know, it's that time of year for these games, people to get knocked off, surprising teams. A lot of teams, like in Oregon State, even though their record isn't what you thought it would be when we started the season, they are now going to play free. And they're a dangerous team when you're playing free like that, when you're not playing, you know, for a conference title and you're out of the conference race. So it's going to be interesting to see how these teams finish up the regular season.
Oregon State is 1-9 in conference on the road. They've lost 6 of their last 7 overall in conference.
Perfect example is what you saw today. Washington State goes down at Arizona State. They had only 1 conference win coming into today, and they knock off a team in Washington State that had NCAA tournament aspirations. They were on the bubble. I'm not sure they're on the bubble anymore, but
well, you know, and at the top, we told the viewers that you could expect anything from Oregon State. This is a team, after all, that has beaten Arizona and Washington in Corvallis. Now, that's probably the mark of a young team, isn't it?
It is. It is. And, you know, the good news is that they have a lot of guys have the same improvement that Jared Cunningham had from last year to this year, and they're going to be a pretty good team next year.
Daniel Dean goes up to the rebound, and you can see his leg buckle as he came down to help him up. That looked a lot worse than maybe it's going to be as he supports his own weight on the right knee.
We don't want to see anybody get hurt this late. Hopefully Oregon will just run this thing out.
Strowbridge will come out of the game on his birthday with 26 points, 10 of 16 from the field, 6 of 9 from 3 for the 23-year-old J.R. Strowbridge out of Huntsville, Alabama.
Number 4, Chris Brown, his second. And the next 14, Cypher.
Big matchup tomorrow. And UCLA's been on the road since Wednesday. They played at Stanford Thursday, so the extra day, let's see if that makes a difference. And the last time those two teams met was a 2-point game in Pauley Pavilion, so that's a dangerous one for UCLA against a capable Cal team. We don't know yet if Alan Crabb, Cal's super freshman, is playing tomorrow or not, but hopefully for Cal's sake he is.
Martin Seifert, the youngster from Berlin, Germany, hits the second free throw. Roberto Nelson tees up a deep one, missed that one. And he is fouled trying to make inroads along the baseline, with Oregon leading here by 21 points. Well, just as they did in the earlier meeting, January the 22nd in Corvallis, the Ducks raced out to a big lead, large double-digit lead. They were up 17 with about 4 minutes to go in the first meeting of the year between the two clubs. They got off to a 37-19 lead in this one.
I think the execution of Oregon and the performance of Strowbridge, you know, they didn't turn it over much. They did to start the second half, but not enough for Oregon State to mount a huge run. And they handled the ball against all those mixing up defenses of Oregon State. And then they got that performance that you look for in rivalry games. Strowbridge with a career high.
355 meetings between the two universities playing this game of basketball. This one's in the books, and it'll be the Ducks that sweep Oregon State this year in the final here today from Matthew Knight Arena. The Oregon Ducks 82, Oregon State University Beavers 63.
Beavers 63.
Big win for Oregon. They've been getting better all season long. An exclamation point here this afternoon in a big rivalry game. 19-point win for Oregon. J.R. Strowbridge, terrific performance.
Ducks go to 14-12 on the year, 7-7 in conference. That's it from Eugene, with the final score again reads Oregon 82, Oregon State 63. Tune in tomorrow at 10 Eastern for more Pac-10 hoops. UCLA takes on Cal. Check your local listings. For Don McLean, Kevin Calabro, you've been watching Pac-10 Hoops, presented by KFC.